Now you got it right. What is so in this class we are going to discuss bug, fault, failure. Error is nothing but an error which is made by the human mistake, and that results a fault. And when it comes to the bug, the presence of error at the time of execution of the software. When it comes to fault, a state of software that caused by an error. Failure, deviation of the software from its expected results. Do not worry, you no need to remember any of these four definitions. Okay, so only thing which you require to remember is failure. Okay, so you are expecting some result and you are actually saying something else. Okay, let's say when you transfer the fund, a fund transfer has to be happen, but it is not happened. Okay, that's a deviation. When you log in by giving the valid username and password, you should be able to log in and you should see the welcome page. In case if you are unable to see that, that's a deviation. Okay, let's say when you log in you should see the view account balance summary, but by mistake that page is not coming up. Okay, that's a deviation. So all those stuff, let's say when you doing a test drive, when you apply a brake, the car has to be stopped, but it is not stopping. That's a deviation. Okay, so only thing you require to remember failure. Okay, so let's talk about testing team. Okay, so different companies follows different uh, designations for the people, roles for the people. Okay, so let's talk about something very commonly people follows, organizations follows. One is, okay, so when it comes to the testing, it will be like this. A QA engineer, he is in the very beginning level. You can consider them as a fresher. Okay, so you can consider as 0 to 2 years of experience. In fact, people will stay in the same role for 3 years also. 3 to 6 years of experience. 6 to 10 years of experience, and 10 to some 15 senior manager. Okay, so something like this. The hierarchy will follows like this. A QA engineer who just joined or who has around 3 years of experience. So his responsibility is a individual contributor. He will be writing the test cases, and he will be executing the test cases. If required, he will be doing the automation. Okay, when it comes to senior QA engineer, it is same as QA engineer. He also will be doing the writing test cases, executing the test cases, and doing the automation. Okay, so then what's the difference between this QA engineer and this senior QA engineer? The only difference is that so he has more experience and he has capability to guide the QA engineers. Okay, so let's say some new people are joined in our QA team, and these senior QA engineers are responsible for training them and are responsible for coaching them, and they make sure that these QA engineers are able to understand the product and they are able to do the things on their own independently. Okay, so only thing is both does the same thing, but senior QA engineer has capability mentor the QA engineers who just joined or who are having a below 3 years of experience. Okay, when it comes to test lead, so a test lead will be managing the high level things. Okay, so he will be reviewing the test cases which are written by these two guys. Okay, and not only that, let's write some points here. Okay, so that you can able to, and I will share you these text documents. Do not worry, I'll be sharing to you in your mail. One is reviewing the test cases written by SQA. When I say SQA, senior QA engineer, and when I say QA, it's a QA engineer. The test code written by, they not only do the test cases review, this test lead will also do the test code review. Okay, whatever the automation code, when I say test code is nothing but automation code, whatever the automation code is written by QA engineer and senior QA engineer is reviewed. Okay, so what is an automation code? If somebody is very new to the automation code, so let's talk about a few minutes on that. So let's say you write manual test cases, you write the test cases manually. Okay, and for one release you have written some 1,000 test cases. When I say you, so entire your QA team has written some 1,000 test cases. For the next version of release, again you, there are set of new features are added, and you will be adding another 500 test cases. Okay, now along with testing these 500 test cases, you also require to test the previous 1,000 test cases. Okay, so it will take lot of time, and the results may not be accurate. Okay, there are some people without testing they say I tested, it is working fine. Okay, so to escape from execution of all those things, they'll say that without testing they'll say I tested, it is working fine. Okay, so to avoid such kind of situations, what we do is we automate all the test cases. So whatever is possible, okay, we'll automate all the test cases, so that the previous test cases we no need to execute manually, we can run it in automatically. Okay, so that we can reduce the manual effort in executing the previous test cases. Okay, so it's nothing but converting the manual test cases into automatic. Okay, so that it can, just by clicking one single button, we make sure that all these test cases will be executed automatically. There are some tools, automation tools, by using which we can able to achieve that. Okay, one of the best example is Selenium. Okay, going forward we are going to learn about the Selenium automation tool also, but right now we are in manual testing. Let's focus on this one. And what else he does? Okay, he also communicate with the, let's see, I have a chat message. So yeah, that's a good question. QA stands for quality assurance. So in general we can call QA as a tester also. Okay, some people call QA engineer, some people call test engineer, some people call senior QA engineer, and in some organization the role is senior test engineer. Okay, so but most commonly used terminology is QA engineer. Okay, let's go with that. he also communicate with external people such as developer, such as some other IT department, where we want this kind of mission, we want this kind of software. Okay, so such kind of things. Senior QA engineer, so writes test cases, writes so this is what they do. Now when it comes to also he, this guy also mentors the QA engineers. Okay, they just join. And what does QA engineer does? The same as senior QA engineer, nothing much in difference. And what about test manager? Okay, so under a test manager, there are so he'll be communicating with the customer. Okay, so this is what we are testing. What is your input? Okay, so he'll be also communicating with development manager, the saying that we are waiting for this particular futures. Let's give us we have to work on it. Okay, such kind of external things he'll be ensuring, and a part of that, he also he also manages multiple test leads. Okay, not only single test lead. Okay, for a product, let's assume for a product there are multiple components. Okay, when you take a banking application, so let's assume the multiple components. One is um, account summary, and account summary and viewing the balance is one module we can say, and fund transfer one module we can say, and adding the payee. Okay, so one module we can say. There could be chances that you know for each module there is a test lead, and under the test lead there are certain senior QA engineers and QA engineers. Okay, and there are chances that for multiple components or multiple modules together handled by a single test lead, and under him there are again senior QA engineers and QA engineers. So finally what I'm going to say is a test manager is responsible for a product, and for single product there are multiple modules will be there, and for some modules there is a one test lead, for other modules there is another test lead, and all these different test leads are managed by the test manager. Okay, all test leads, not only single test lead, whoever is there, one or multiple, okay, he will be managing, and also ensuring providing resources to the team. Okay, when I say providing resources to the team is nothing but, let's say a new person has joined, he makes sure that he provides a laptop to the new person. Okay, so before he joins the company he might be buying that a new laptop, okay, and giving to the new person, new QA engineer. Okay, so when I say he is buying is nothing but he is not buying from his pocket. So he'll raise a request from the company, says, I need this particular laptop. Somebody will buy and give it to the test manager, and test manager will give it to the QA engineer. Okay. So let's say I'm testing a mobile application. I need a mobile phone in order to test this particular application. Okay. When I say to my manager, So you said that I require to test a mobile application, but I don't have a mobile. Let's buy and give it to me. Okay, he will buy and give it to you. Okay, so it's nothing but this one. Not only providing missions, but also providing certain software, and also ensures that, let's say you want to improve your skills, okay, and you wanted to make sure that you train in some automation tools or some other different things which are newly came up. Okay, when you talk to your manager, he will agree you to take a training which are organized by the company. Okay, in the company frequently there are some trainings will keep on happening. Okay, if you are interested, you can join with your manager permission. Okay, so those kind of permissions he will be giving to you. So that's about you know and on top of test manager there will be a senior manager. On top of senior manager there will be a director. Okay, and there is a vice president and CEO. Okay, he is a major. Before CEO there will be a CTO. Okay, so CEO and CTO are both are are equal in position. Okay, CEO is nothing but chief executive officer, who will be responsible for the company's growth, and CTO is nothing but chief technical officer, who is responsible for which kind of software a company has to use and which technology on which the product has to be built. Okay, so he's a technical guy. Okay, he will be responsible for the product is developed on the right technologies. Okay, he makes sure that. So this about a company organization. We require to remember at least this much level. Okay, and these are very common to anybody, any company, any organization. And for every organization, these are the common terminologies. But some people say test engineer, some people say QA engineer, some people say senior QA engineer, and somebody says senior test engineer. So that's the only difference. Okay, but majority of the companies will follow the same designation to the employees. Okay, that's it about the testing team. Okay, so just now we discussed about so what a testing team contains. What are the levels of a testing team, and who will be there in the testing team, and what is their designations, and what is their responsibilities we just covered.